Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library with a whole new teen book spotlight. So, we are entering week 2 of our 2022 summer reading program, Oceans of Possibilities. I hope you have signed up. If you haven't, there is still time. So, jump on the website, come into the library. We can help you sign up. Because as we enter week 2, there's a whole nother theme, a whole nother badge you can attempt to complete or do complete. And that theme for this week is possibilities of relationships. We are exploring books that revolve around the theme from like friendship to family to siblings, how you interact with others, maybe some romance. A lot of these might be realistic. So a lot of times these books fall into a realistic category, but we do have others that aren't, because you can have family in a fantasy, you can have romance in a dystopian, right? I mean, like, this kind of ties into everything. So we have 6 we're going to take a look at that revolve around all different types of relationships. So let's get started. Our first one is Agnes at the End of the World. So Agnes is a follower of the prophet, along with her family and everyone else who lives in the town of Red Creek. Now, a plague is ravaging the planet. Earth is being ravaged by a plague, and the prophet believes his people are safe and are chosen to be survivors. That's the message he is preaching. In Red Creek, though, women and girls are submissive to men, and no one can accept help from the outside. No one's allowed to outside, no one's allowed to leave to go to the outside. Now, Agnes's younger brother, Ezekiel, has type 1 diabetes, and he needs insulin in order to survive. The prophet believes, though, that he is saved with prayer, but Agnes knows better. And she has these secret meetings with this nurse who meets her on the edge of the fence to give her the insulin that Ezekiel needs. Now, as the prophet starts to make plans for everyone to move into this underground bunker that's being built, Agnes knows something is not right. She just has this gut feeling that something's going on here, and she needs to start making decisions that will not only impact her, but also everyone else who she loves. You will not want to put this one down. You will want to know what happens. You'll be right there with Agnes. Like, what choices do you make? Do you choose like the life the prophet is telling them, or what needs to happen in order for her brother to survive? This is Agnes at the End of the World. The Serpent King. This one's so good. Love this one. Growing up in rural Tennessee, Dill, Lydia, and Travis, they are 3 outcasts, but they are also best friends. And they're just trying to make their way through their senior year of high school in their super tiny small town where everyone knows everything about everyone, or they think they know what they know. As they deal with their own family issues, as well as they're looking to the future, they're trying to figure out what's going to happen with their friendship and their relationships as they're nearing the end of their senior year. And they all kind of have this feeling they're all going to end up going in different directions. This is an amazing story, and you will not be able to put it down. It's about friendship in a small town, just trying to figure out who you are. Especially, if you're from a small town, you can totally relate to them. And I will tell you right now, there is a twist that will make you literally say out loud what just happened. I love this one. This is by Jeff Zittner. He has written so many other amazing stories, and The Wild Light is his newest one. I cannot recommend this one enough. This is The Serpent King. Don't hate the player. Amelia feels as though she's living 2 different lives. There's the one that everyone knows about her. She's the field hockey player, she's the good student, she's involved in a ton of extracurriculars, she is the popular and doting boyfriend. But then there's her other life, and this is the one that she's way more passionate about. And it's the fact that she's into esports. More specifically, she plays in the Guardians League Online. And then she's also become a member of this team called Team Fury. And she's actually starting to gain the respect from other players, which is really hard to do in this male-dominated world, in which females are really looked down upon. Females aren't supposed to be playing esports. But Amelia's out there to prove them wrong. Now, when she gets a chance to compete in an amateur GLO tournament, Amelia jumps at the chance. But It is when she meets a friend from her childhood who is also a player, and she starts to realize that he can ruin everything for her. Amelia decides she needs to try to keep him from spilling her secrets. That she has these two lives. She can't let her parents know she's playing esports. She can't let her esports friends know she's this other person in real life. She has to keep him from making sure these worlds and these lines don't blur. But in the process, she may learn more about herself and what it really means to be in love with someone. If you are into the gaming esport world, you will truly enjoy this read. If you love a good romance though, this one is worth the read as well. This is Don't Hate the Player. 1,500 miles from the sun. So Julian, who goes by Jules, he's entering his senior year of high school, and he's just counting down the days when he can finally leave his small Texas town, and especially leave his drunk and abusive father, who has pretty much beaten him for pretty much any reason you can think of. This is just one of the big major reasons why Jules cannot come out of the closet, because he knows he will not be able to deal with the fallout from his machismo father. He's a Mexican American. This is not what's expected. This is totally against everything that their culture stands for. Jules knows that. It is when he's at a party one night, though, and he drunkenly sends out a message on social media, and that he outs himself to everyone he knows. He knows there is no turning back from that. Even though his father kicks him out of the house immediately, Jules soon starts to realize that he does have a support system through his sister and his friends, and he realizes no one really kind of treats him differently. Like all the players on his soccer team don't treat him differently. The only person who does is his dad. He then soon starts a budding relationship with Matt, who lives in Los Angeles, who they meet through social media. And Jules just knows he has to make it to the end of his senior year, but that's going to be a long and winding road. This realistic look at growing up as a teenager, when the expectations set for you are not what's meant for you, is when you'll be right along the side with Jules as he goes through his journey, and it may be one that you can totally relate to as well. This is 1,500 miles from the sun. The bridge. Tilly and Aaron have never met before, but their paths cross when they are both on the George Washington Bridge in New York City, contemplating ending both of their lives by jumping off the bridge. They each have their own personal reasons, and they find themselves then staring at 4 different possibilities and endings. Possibility number 1 is Aaron jumps and Tilly jumps. Possibility number 2, Aaron jumps but Tilly doesn't. Possibility number 3, vice versa. Possibility 4, they don't both jump. Then Aaron and Tilly, who are 2 strangers, will make a great and immediate impact in each other's lives. Now this book is told in third person, and you will get to read how each scenario plays out. And you will see not only how it impacts the individual, but also the people around them as well. You as the reader will be really left figuring out what happens in the story as well. Now, please be aware that this book makes frequent and raw discussions of topics such as suicide, depression, bullying, gender identity, and more. It can be a pretty hard read at times, but it's very interesting in that you see so many different perspectives and points of view that it is truly eye-opening and worth the story. This is The Bridge. My Heart Underwater. So Corazon, or Corey as she goes by, her life has been turned upside down as her father has recently been in a car accident. He's now in the hospital in a coma. And then there's the whole fact that her mother walks into her classroom one day and catches her kissing her history teacher, who is also a woman, and that is a huge no-no in their Filipino culture. The solution the family comes up with then is to send Corey to live with her half-brother named Young, and she has never met him before. She's seen him on the occasional Skype call as he's talking to her dad. They both have the same dad, but she's never met him before. Doesn't know anything really about him, and before she knows it, she finds herself going off to the Philippines to live with him. It is there that Corey goes through it, starts to go through a journey of self-discovery as she starts coming to terms with who she is as an individual, as well as what's expected of her through her heritage and her family, as well, especially since her family has never really been talked about. She has no idea what her parents, their parents, anyone, the life in Philippines. And as she starts to uncover secrets which reveal the true nature of her extended family, she will also learn what does family and what does friendship really mean to her. Now, there are some deep topics explored in this book, especially when it comes to religion. So if you are looking for a deep and thought-provoking read this summer, this may be what you are looking to explore. This is My Heart Underwater. So these are just 6 of the books we have here at the library that are possibilities of relationships. So I encourage you to come on out, check out one of these, or we have some tags that you can look up on our website to give you some more possible options. Because again, this is part of our summer reading program. By watching this video, you've done one of the activities for the possibilities of relationship badge. Read one of these or books with a relationship in it. That takes care of another activity. So make sure you log on to Beanstack and record your activities to get those badges to earn those virtual tickets for those prize drawings at the end of summer. I hope you tune back next week when we have a whole new Teen Book Spot with our week 3 of our summer reading theme journey this year. And I hope you have an amazing week.